going on, folks? You're watching The Hungry Handgunner. I'm Nick, and I want to talk to you guys about something. So, even in my own gun recommendations for beginners videos that I made, I completely neglected a whole category of firearms that I think, while maybe not the most effective for hunting medium game or personal defense, they absolutely deserve some consideration. So, if you're a new gun owner or somebody looking to buy your first gun, this would not be my first pick for a primary gun, but I think that these bear having a conversation about. We're going to be talking about 22 LR, 22 long rifle. So I brought out two common types. There's a whole bunch more than this. These are the two 22 long rifles that I have. We have a Ruger 1022 here, no mag in, and the chamber is clear. And I have the Ruger American here. Uses the same magazines as the Ruger 1022, and it is also clear. So these guns often get looked at as just target rifles, or sometimes people consider their usefulness as a small game rifle, but as a survival rifle, as a in case of emergency gun, they often get overlooked. Here's a bag of 100 rounds of 22, tiny. And I put them in Ziploc bags because I buy the bulk packs, and a lot of times I come over here, I'm not going to shoot a whole bulk pack, so the bag's easier to throw in my bag and come with without worrying about ammo spilling everywhere. The ammo is lightweight, so before all this started, I'm not sure exactly how hard 22 has gotten to be able to find right now, but before all this started, it was pretty easy to find it, pretty easy to buy it in bulk, and relatively inexpensive. So 22 is definitely not the most powerful thing in the world. It is still lethal. It can still kill you, without a doubt, in case anybody's perpetuating that myth still in 2020. But it is suboptimal as a defense weapon, and by suboptimal I mean, unless I had nothing else, I would not grab a 22. But they do have several advantages. When you are small game hunting, squirrels, rabbits, things like that, if you use too powerful of a round, you stand the chance to damage the meat. A 22 is going to provide the energy needed to get a clean, humane kill on these targets without an excess damage of meat. And obviously, wherever you hit them, that's going to get torn up. But for the most part, you're going to get a good, clean kill, not a lot of damage to meat. They can be very quiet if suppressed. Now, this Ruger 1022 here is not suppressor ready as it sits. This Ruger American is. Now, it does have a goofy A2 birdcage style flash suppressor on it. That's because I lost my thread protector. So I've referenced in a few videos thread protectors walking off. This one did. That works to protect the threads, but this gun, suppressed, is extremely quiet. And that can be useful for remaining undetected for whatever reason. Not scaring off other game, etc. The guns themselves are fairly inexpensive, or at least they were. I haven't checked prices since all this started, but I would argue that they are still probably priced below the equivalent in other cartridges. So I know this gun went for about $329 when I got it, and it is dirty. It's seen a lot of use, over 5,000 rounds through it. And I think this one goes for closer to $350. I may be wrong on that, and there's a lot of trim options available on the Ruger 1022s, but they're relatively inexpensive. The ammo is relatively inexpensive. The other thing is, these rifles are super easy, or actually any firearm, not just the rifles, but any firearm chambered in 22 long rifle is a great round to teach new shooters on. It's not that loud. It doesn't really recoil that much at all. So it takes that intimidation factor out of it when you're teaching somebody new to shoot. And as far as getting the fundamentals, not freaking them out, this is a great platform to teach them on. Pair that with relatively inexpensive ammunition, and you have a fantastic option for teaching new shooters, whether they're adults or kids coming of age. It's just a great platform for that. I hate using the word platform, but it is a great caliber to do that with. As far as reliability goes, they do get dinged a lot for being reliable, particularly these semi-automatics. Some ammunition is loaded hot enough or with enough velocity to routinely cycle this action without any problems. Other ammo, not so much. So that is a thing. I've had pretty good luck with this Ruger 1022. It runs just about everything I've put through it, except for some of the subsonic stuff, the stuff going below the speed of sound for my newer folks. The advantage to a bolt action rifle, you are going to have to cycle that bolt after each shot, so you have a slower rate of fire, but it does solve a lot of the reliability issues. This thing will handle, I don't know that I've had a single issue with anything I've put through it. You will occasionally get failures to fire, in which case that is more often on the ammunition and not the gun. By nature of rimfire, the priming compound is scattered all through the rim of the cartridge, so when the firing pin hits it, if that priming compound hasn't gotten evenly distributed, or you hit a bare spot on the primer or the rim where the primer compound is not, you may have an issue getting it to go off. A lot of times those same rounds, you can put them back in and have the firing pin hit a different spot on the rim of the cartridge and they'll go off just fine. So I say all that to say, if you're in the market for a gun or more guns or whatever during this panic-demic that we're in right now, I would urge you to check out 22 long rifles if you have not already. So the reason I don't have any of my 22 long rifle pistols out here is I specifically wanted to focus on the utility of the cartridge in a rifle. 22 long rifle and a pistol is fun. It's good to teach new shooters on. But if you are buying these guns for a practical standpoint, I would argue that a 22 long rifle handgun is not really up to snuff. It's not going to, longer barrel allows the bullet to get more velocity, so you lose velocity in those handguns. They are inherently more difficult to aim, so as far as small game shooting goes. And a lot of the options for handguns are going to be priced in that $300 to $400 range. Just a little bit more money than that, or depending on the deal you find, the same amount of money, you can find a good, reliable center fire handgun. So if you're looking at the 22 LR for defense, again, it is a lethal caliber. It can kill you, but it is not recommended by most people, and there's good reason behind that. So I would say that if you're looking at a 22 LR handgun for the purpose of self-defense, take a step back, do some looking. You may find a good deal on something in 9mm or 380 at the bare minimum would be my recommendation. If you want more info on ballistics, especially handgun cartridges, I cannot recommend the Lucky Gunner channel enough. Yes, they do sell ammunition, but as far as I know, they have no real basis or motivation for recommending one manufacturer over another. So they are typically, from what I've seen, very objective in their testing, and they have the means and the whatever to do these tests, and they're very well done. I would urge you to look at those when determining your calibers that you want to pick out for shit hitting the fan or whatever. Even routine concealed carry, if you see this after the great COVID-19 crisis has passed, check Lucky Gunner out. They're good folks. That's who I use for my ammo. They bring a lot to the 2A community. Definitely worth your business if you order from them, and absolutely worth your subscribe on YouTube. Both of those will help them out. So guys, fairly short and sweet. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the camera off so you don't have to listen to the dog bark. I've got reviews on both of these guns. If you're interested, I will throw those in the description below. I'm going to do some shooting. So stay safe, keep shooting. I'll see you next time.